No matter how you did on your early NFL bets, join us every Sunday at 3 p.m. on Before You Bet with DommyGunRici and DJ Bigboss, who Bangin Sports Talk.
Week 8. That's right, Week 8. We are here. We've lasted Week 8. See, just the halfway point, I guess so, right? 17 weeks. So now we'll start seeing what's going to be. See if the AFL starts taking a different shape of what it has for the first 8 weeks. It's been exciting, that's for sure. And glad everybody has come back again for another edition of Before You Bet. I'm solo today, unfortunately. No DJ Bigboss, but he will be back soon. Hopefully, well, definitely by next week he'll be back. But he'll probably be back on Wednesday on Boston the Sauce with the Big Ragoo. I might be alone today. I might not be. We'll see what happens. I sent out some links. Well, we'll see how it goes. But some exciting football going on. Wondering how everybody's bets are going. Let me switch over in here. Yeah, when I'm on my own, it takes a little technical stuff sometimes happens. So, how you doing there, Margarita? How are you? Okay, so today, so far, I had the Dallas first half minus 6.5, so I hit that. I do have the Lions working. I had them plus 3.5 for the game. I have the Patriots field goal prop over 1.5, which hit. But I also have the Jets over 1.5 field goal prop, which probably, I don't know what's going to happen in the last 10 minutes, but they're down 19-10. I don't really know. I guess if they get a touchdown, then maybe they could go for a field goal if there's enough time, if that's the scenario where they could go for a win. But so I might be splitting that sucker, that's for sure. But let's see what happened in these early games. So that's what I got going on so far. Let me check. Just check. What is going on with the fourth quarter magic, as we like to say sometimes. Okay, so the Patriots, yeah, they're up now 22-10. That's right. That was a third field goal they scored today. Wow, so they had 3 alone. So 22-10. So there's a good chance I won't get a field goal chance for the Jets in this game. It looks like they got to just go for TDs or nothing. 9:46 left in the game. Let's see. Saints up 24-0, dominating the whole game. 7 points in the first quarter, 10 in the second, 7 in the third. Nice and regimented. Boom, 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 boom. The Raiders couldn't do nothing, I guess, today. I didn't really look into that game. It wasn't a game I bet. It was a tricky game for me. I was leaning Raiders, and thank God I didn't get that. But Detroit down 27-31 in Miami. 8:19 left. Detroit has the ball. I got them plus 3.5 for the game, minus 108. So we'll see what happens with that game. Like I mentioned, or if I didn't mention, I had them first half Detroit in this game. But this was my double-up game. So we'll see what happens. Minnesota is ahead 28-23 in the third. 2 minutes left in the third. And, Arizona got the ball again. They scored 14 points in the third quarter. So how you doing, Dave? Good to see you. So I wonder, how's your day been going so far? So anyhow, some tricky games. The Patriots, like I mentioned with the Jets, 22-10. Max Jones tried to give away this game a couple times. Patriots, showed some resiliency today. I mean, he had that bad interception before the half, and I guess the Jets would do for a game where. They would do for this type of game. Can't take nothing away from the Jets. And the game's not over. 9 minutes left. Jets on the 3rd and 10 on the New England 35. So, hey, nothing. I'm watching this play by the watching the end of this Dallas game. Like I said, I had Dallas first half, so thank God. So far, so good. For the rest of the day, I took a teaser, both unders, Texans under 45.5 and Giants under 50.5. That's going to be my teaser for the day. I don't like to, I'll only take one teaser a week, or not even every week, but I won't take more than one teaser. And I like to do it on the half. That loss on a tie is just a brutal thing. Looks like, it's going to be a little bit maybe not too late. I didn't realize there's 13 minutes still left in this game, and the Bears just scored. So it'll be 42 with the extra point. It'll be 42-30 after this. So some points have been scored. Dallas, that defense that we've all talked about, has really given up some points today. Wow. I had him the first half 6.5. I thought the total was a little bit low, but I didn't think it was going to be a blowout game like this. So anyhow, that's something. What do we have coming up today? We have Tennessee at Houston. Interesting game now with the quarterback change. That line dropped a bunch this week, and then went back up. I seen it at a pick, and now I see it backed up. It was back up to +1 or maybe 1.5 in some spots now. Let's check that. And we also have the Giants and Seahawks, and we also have the Rams and San Francisco. DJ, that was the game too that I was going to hit DJ on, was this San Francisco Rams game. That should be a good one. I mean, it's the second time they're playing, right? The Raiders went from +1 to -1, and that's always something that has always jumped out at me as something to really keep an eye on. Even though I'm not the biggest, line move type guy that really sways me that much, but the dog to favorite usually is a pretty good spot. I'm not sure why. I guess we could figure out why, but let's see. I mean, what do they have to say about them head to head? I mean, remember that game last year? That was pretty. That was something. Head to head. No, that's the Titans. Let's see, Rams. Interesting game that is. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this Tennessee Houston game for a little while. I do have a field goal prop. Yeah, I have a field goal prop on the Commodores over 1.5 -130. That's what I had. I had a field goal prop late in the afternoon, but I want to concentrate on watching one game. And for some reason, I'm going to watch this Houston-Tennessee game at least for a little while, and then jump into that Giants-Seattle game, which is another interesting game. I toyed it back and forth with if I'm was going to take Seattle today, but I didn't have the balls to do it. They have the Giants have put me in my place a few times this year already. Not so much that me betting against them, but me talking about them and being totally wrong in my predictions with them. So, but a tough place to play. I know, wait a minute, I do have the part of the teaser. Yes, the Giants under 50.5. I could see this being a low-scoring game. At least I'm hoping for that, this Seattle Giant matchup. The road teams in this matchup are 5-1 against the spread, head-to-head. Seattle is 20-5 against the spread at home against defenses allowing more than, it's one of those, allowing more than 17.5 yards per attempt. I hate those kind of stats. Giants are 13-2 under against defensive teams allowing more than 23.5 points per game. So even though they're going against defenses that are allowing a lot of points, they're still 13-2 to the under. This game had a couple interesting things. Can you imagine Geno Smith and what he's doing? He has the league's best, the best completion percentage in the league, 73.5%, 1,700 plus passing yards, only 3 interceptions Just goes to show you about a guy who has played under a bunch of different systems, has, as much as we all, like to make fun of Geno Smith and what has happened in the past with him, especially with the Jets, where he really didn't get the time. It was just such a bad situation with him for the Jets. But listen, after all these years, he really, and he learned behind Wilson when Wilson was at his best, and he, like I said, a couple different systems, and this is what happens. I think we talked about it last week, and I think DJ mentioned like if Gino was say on another team, like say he goes to the on the Colts or on the Commodores or whatever teams made switches this year, he wouldn't be doing as good as he's doing. It's this system. Pete Carroll knows him. He's known him for a long time. It's that whole Southern California, that New York Jet tie. That's all over there and intertwined with my man Pete. One of the only NFL coach ever met, Pete Carroll. I used to see him all the time at the. We used to have a contract at Hofstra University delivering things into the dorms, furniture and stuff, and so we used to go to those practices a lot. And I got to meet him, and it was cool. So anyhow, the Giants. We could say a lot about this Giant team. Let's see what they have coming up. They have. So after this week, they're home against the Texans. Then they're home against the Lions. Then they go to Dallas. Then they're home against the Commodores. Then they're home against the Eagles. So they don't really have such a bad. I mean, Dallas and Eagles, I guess you could say are two really good spots. Not good spots for them, but tough spots, I should say. And the other games should be, on paper, Lions are beatable, Texans are beatable, so Commodores are beatable. So we'll see what happens. But, I tell you, I'm leaning Seattle today. Let's see what happens, how my games were going. I did, like I said, bet the under 50.5 as part of the teaser. I don't know if you heard that, DJ, with the Texans under 45.5. So we'll see if I could catch that. There you go. Wow. I got Pollard in one of my. I do that stupid. Only on Sundays I do the FanDuel, daily fantasy thing. I do like two or three of them for like. I do the $5 NFL Millions, I think it's called, and then I do a $10 one. The top prize is like $15,000 or something, and I don't spend more than $20 on it. I've been going up and down on the same $200 on that damn thing for 2 years now. But I got Pollard today in my thing, and he's done well as Dallas pulls away a little bit. So not that some of that magic that we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks that we didn't see last week, but that we were talking about. Weeks 1 through 6 isn't happening as much, but might be in 2 games. The Panthers have the ball with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left, 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 42, down 21-24. I know a few of our friends have the Panthers today, so I am rooting them on. Weird how the Panthers have been playing since they got rid of their 2 biggest stars, arguably anyhow. I mean, McCaffrey definitely, and Robbie Anderson, one of their stars. I mean, not that, which isn't saying much for that team, but I was always a Robbie Anderson type fan. I hope he does better where he lands, where he landed, because I think the situation down there was pretty bad for him. I think the guy has talent. I don't think he's a leader or anything like that, but I do think he has talent. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Gambling is changing, man. Betting is changing. Sharps are changing. Lines are reflecting it. I see it a lot. I see lines happening in certain things. Like I talk about those field goal props that were nice and juicy at the beginning of the year. And a lot of those I hit were I was hitting at plus 110, plus 115, plus 108, small pluses, and wasn't paying more than, maybe 115, 120 on the opposite end. Now, if you look at those over 1.5 field goals, you'll see like today I paid 130 for the Commodores one. I paid, I don't have that in front of me, what I paid on the Patriots and the Jets, but it was up in that area, which it looks like I said, like I'm going to split because the Jets will never be able to kick a field goal now. 22-10, they're losing, and 5 minutes and 25 seconds left. Jets had a couple bad penalties, and they got to know better. They had a bad roughing the passer penalty on a pick six, that was that in the third quarter, or might have been, I forget now when exactly it was, but you got to watch when you're clipping those quarterbacks in the head, because they're going out of bounds and things like that. So they shot themselves in the foot today, where they won those games by other teams shooting themselves in the yeah, I know, right. I hear you, TJ. So I kept on saying Commodores. I'm thinking and I'm supposed to be saying Commanders, but that's why I'll just stick to saying Redskins like I was going to. But yeah, anyhow, so that's what's going on. Dallas 49-29 now. I guess it did it's going. Just let the clock run out. Let's score each way. Boom, boom, back and forth. I mean, the second quarter, 17 points scored by Chicago, down 14-0, but then they gave up 14 points. There was some first half. That's the first half I was watching. I had Dallas minus 6.5, so I was, when I was up 14-0 in the first quarter, it sounds all good, and then Dallas scored, and then Chicago scored, and you're like, uh-oh, and then another score. So that was getting a little bit risky. But we do have, not yet, we do have Tennessee and Houston will be the first game coming up. Let's talk a little bit about Tennessee and Houston. Titans, 31st in total, 31st in total offense and 26th in total defense. And they are 31st, their defense is 31st against the pass. So the Titans, as you see, has not been, their rankings are just terrible, right? Their total offense, 31st in the league. Their defense is ranked 26th. So right there is not a good sign, and a lot of the reason why even though there's some numbers the other way with Houston, a lot of reason why I put this in my teaser, this under 45.5, because I'm just kind of looking at this game and thinking where are the points going to come. Here's the weird thing about the Titans. So they're 31st against the pass, right? 26th again in the defense, but their third down, their defense holding teams on third down is one of the best in the league. It's like 28%. And that doesn't, when your defense is so bad, against the overall, and worse even against the pass, you would think that their third down, their rate of holding teams on third down would be, but it's 28%, and that's pretty good. What's on the other hand with the Texans, that game last week, was at the fourth quarter, they were outscored a couple touchdowns. It might have been 21-0. Yes, 21-0. They were outscored in the fourth quarter. That's the type of team the Texans are every year. They cover some games that you don't think they're going to cover. They play lousy when you think they are starting to come around. As soon as they start getting that good press, I talk about it in baseball with the Brewers and the White Sox. As soon as they start getting some good press, like they did the first couple games, and same thing happened last year with the Texans. As soon as they start getting some good press, that's it, man. They start falling apart. But their defense is ranked 31st in the league overall, where, like I said, the Titans was 31st against the pass, and you would think some points maybe could be scored against these teams, but I don't believe so. But their defense does allow 411 yards per game total, which is again 31st in the league. So that's not such great numbers when you're looking at this with this matchup. But I still found it. Or we have the quarterback. I forgot the guy's name was starting. I know this is why that line changed because of the quarterback got hurt, but I forgot. I think he's a third stringer too. I'll have to try to look that up. But head to head, check this out. The Texans are on an extended 16 and 3 against the spread versus Tennessee, head to head. Tennessee is 7-0 against the spread in October. I don't know how you legitimize that trend, but I guess the last 2 years they've been good in October. I guess strange. In something like, again, one of those coincidence type stats. Another thing about the Texans, they're 9-1 overall at home versus Tennessee in their last 10 games. So they've played well. So we'll see how it goes with the Titans and the Texans. Texans straight up 1-4-1 against the spread, 4-2. Tennessee 4-2 against the spread, 4-2. Tennessee don't beat themselves that much. That's one thing about Tennessee. They don't beat themselves that much. So and they had that 0-2 start. Then they won and covered 4 in a row. And listen, they have taken control of the AFC South. So they did sweep the Colts already this season. So there's some good and bad, But along with this is interesting. Along with the Seahawks, the Titans are the other current division leader with a negative point differential. Tennessee has been outgained in all 6 games this season. So take that. Imagine being asked that question about this division and who are the top 2 teams going to be Week 8, which is about halfway. Seattle and Tennessee. So, interesting. Okay. What's the other game? Okay, so the Redskins today with Carson Wentz not playing. They're always, I said last week, they were the team to bet. Even though I didn't follow up on myself, they were the team to bet. So, I would have had trouble with my links. Last week, DJ, I had to resend the links out last week, and I wonder if, or unless I'm just like on everybody's blacklist. I don't know, but I sent one out to Doc. I sent one out to Wham. I sent one out to Cab. I sent one out to I forgot who else. Not that it matters. I know people have something to do. You know how we do. I just say, listen, if you're around, jump in. That's how it is. How you doing, Nikolai? Good to see you, man. Time is money machine, huh? What you want any plays these late games, Nikolai? It's 3:54. The Houston game starts at 4:05. I'll probably jump off right about when it starts, unless somebody jumps on. We'll just go over some of these games and talk a little. San Francisco at the Rams. San Francisco is 8-2 in their last 10 when they play at the Rams. How you doing there, Dab? Good to see you, brother. Everything is going good. I'm in my room outside. I'm only gonna have a couple more weeks probably that I'll be able to do this, and I'll have to go back inside. But I like being out here because I could do things out here that I don't do in the house. If you get my drift. The top team trends for this game. So, Dabby, if you have a chance, you want to jump on, you're welcome. But no big if you can. Are you on any games in the afternoon? Let me know. And let me know too if anybody. Let me know how everybody how they took the World Series, how they're doing with that, and it turned into it's going to be interesting. I thought it was going to be a series that might go the full distance, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So San Francisco at the Rams. San Francisco is 8-2. Okay, they're 8-2 against the spread at the last 10 at the Rams. All right, they're also 8-2 last 10 versus, I don't know. I don't understand what that means. San Francisco goes 8-2 against the spread versus opponent after. Oh, okay, when after a win, after a straight up win, the 49ers are 8-2 against the spread, and the Rams are 8. And these are the stats that to me are just such craziness. And this is a coincidence why stuff like this happens. But the Rams are 8-2 to the under. Last 10 times at home before playing Tampa Bay Bucks. So before playing Tampa Bay Bucks, the Rams are 8-2 to the under when playing at home. So according to these stats, that these trends, these head-to-head trends, the 49ers should win and the game should stay under. So I guess we should be betting the opposite way, right? But that's what the trends are telling us. Let's see here. What have the Rams done? The Rams at only 20 points. This is surprising. So the Rams 20 points per game is their average. The Rams are 17. The 49ers are 20.7 points per game. And the Rams are 17.3 points per game, which is definitely surprising. How about the, let's see, how about the turnover differential? -3 for the Niners, -5 for the Rams. Their defense point, they're letting up the Niners. So they're scoring 20.7 and letting up 19 points per game. The Rams are 17.3 scoring points and 21 points per game against them. Tough matchup. These teams played each other. That was a 24-9 ball game, I believe. What was that? Week 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Yeah, that was week 4. So now the Niners they're at the Rams. And then the Niners go home. So that's pretty good. The Niners get to stay in California there. The Niners play the Rams today, and then they go back home and play the Chargers. Then they play Arizona. I believe that might be a London game. They got 2 asterisks next to it. Is that a bye? No, that's not the bye. So that might be Arizona. That might be one of those London games. Then after that, they got the Saints, and then so they got the Rams, and they got the Chargers, which is beatable. They got the Cards, which is beatable. They got the Saints. Then they got the Dolphins. Then on December 11th, they got the Bucks, who aren't themselves. Then they got the Seahawks. Then they got the Redskins. Then they got the Raiders, and then they got the Cardinals. So they don't have a bad schedule at all, the 49ers. So this is really their biggest game they're playing. On paper, this is their biggest game they're playing. And as for the Rams, they got the Bucks next week, then the Cardinals, then the Saints, then the Chiefs. So they have a couple. Then the Seahawks, Raiders, Green Bay Packers. Denver Chargers in Seattle. So since I mentioned the Green Bay Packers, interesting game tonight. What do you got? Yeah, I hate Nikolai. Tonight's game, it's the Bills and Green Bay. I took this. I don't know who's going to agree with this angle, but I took Green Bay. Not Green Bay. I took under 47 in that game, -110. I don't know. I don't really see a lot of points being scored. I think 47 is probably it's probably a pretty solid number, but just a couple defensive play. I can't believe that the Packers are just going to lay down again and just like the Bills are going to go. It just sounds too easy that the Bills are going to go in there and just trounce them. One of those Bills, 45-21 type games or something. I don't know, man. I could be wrong, but I just think that the Green Bay might, I don't know, have a little heart. Maybe maybe they're getting back to normal a little bit. I don't know what to make of Green Bay Packers. I don't know what to make of Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what to make what's going on over there. You know, we could go. You know, there's a lot of theories on that, but head to head, the home team has won the last 6 games against the spread in this series. I mean, 11. The point spread is up to 11. I don't know why. I just think that's so high. I just think it's high. I think everybody just assumes that the. I mean, and usually when everybody's assuming one thing, the other thing happens, right? I mean, there was a lot of assumption today on the Jet game, right? And I know a lot of people were loving the Jets. You know, and that they listen. I'm not saying they couldn't make a good case for the Jets, but and like I said, I did field goal props on that. So the Jets did score a touchdown, so it's 22-17. New England is up. Jets got the ball. There's 1 minute and 51 seconds left. So listen, the Jets are not out of it yet. I wonder, maybe I can get, no, it's 17. They can't kick a field goal, so I guess I'll be splitting that. So I hit the field goal prop on the Patriots, and I'll be losing the one on the Jets. That's what made me interested in. So as I was ready to, again, I was almost ready to write off the Jets, but they scored. I didn't realize they scored a touchdown in the last few minutes that we looked. So it's going down to the end here. Minnesota, 34-26 with the ball. 8 minutes and 36 seconds left. I got Minnesota in a couple of those plays today, and the quarterback in my fantasy thing. So I might actually win some money today, which is rare. And that thing, like I said, I've been up and down on that same 200 for 2 months, for 2 years. I mean, Carolina with the ball, 2 minutes left, 28-31. So all of a sudden, 5 minutes ago, I was saying that we weren't getting that fourth quarter magic that we were getting in the first 6 weeks, and boy, oh boy, did that change. 28-31, Carolina got the ball. What's going on with Dallas got this game put away. 3 minutes left. The Bears got the ball. The Bears are running the ball down 20 points with 3 minutes left. So 49-29. Wow. 78 points scored in that game. Amazing. So Arizona got the ball. 7 minutes left. 26-34. And where are they? They're on their own 35. They're driving on their own 35. 2nd and 10. So that's a close thing. The Jets, New England has the ball. Oh, so I guess I don't know what happened in the Jet game because they turned it off. I guess they might have just scored that 7 points because New England got the ball, and it's 22-17, and the time is ticking out. Tick, tick. Game's over. Jets lose 22-17. So good job by the Patriots. The Jets were due for a loss. It's magic. It's magic. I don't want to get a copyright. Copyright strike. What do you call it? So 22-17, the Jets. But like I said, the Jets were due, guys. We know they were due for a loss, and nothing. You know, I can't say nothing bad about the Jets. They're playing well. They had a couple bad penalties in this game, and you know, Mac Jones tried to give this game away. You know, this was a battle. This is a typical New England. You know, Jets. You know, it doesn't matter sometimes where how teams are playing and how good or how bad some teams are. Some teams just play each other that way, and even though it's always different players and everything, the organization just know each other, and it seems to matter. You know, like the Jets and the Pats. I mean, there's so much history with those two teams that it's hard to it's hard to put a finger on it. Like I said, because of different coaches, different systems, and stuff like that. But not with the Pats, but with the Jets and stuff. But it just always seems that they have these tough battles, and that come down a lot of times to the end, and it did today also. So anyhow, the Patriots win a game despite Mac Jones. I seen our buddy Wham put out a tweet about Mac Jones getting benched, and I was not surprised. So let's see what we got here. 1988. The Buffalo Bills. What does their schedule look like after today's game? So the Bills now minus 11. Let's see where the odds are. Let me go on to Odds Trader. I like using Odds Trader. I think they're pretty good. It gives you all the all the online books now. MGM, Caesars, FanDuel, DraftKings, PointsBet, Bet Rivers. There's a bunch of them. So let's see what we got here. The Giants and Seattle. That game is going to be starting. That game. Oh no, Tennessee Houston game, like I said, starts first. Okay, so that line opener was 3.5. Tennessee was minus 3.5, minus 115. That's what the line opened at. It closed at minus 1, minus 110, minus 108, minus 109. I did see a 1.5 at DraftKings, and then a 1 at Caesars at Bet MGM. Of course, FanDuel and DraftKings always a little slab higher. That's just the way it goes. The Giants in Seattle. Giants opened plus 2.5. It looks like the line's closing plus 3.5. Giants. I do see some threes now. Seattle at 3. I don't want to take Seattle at 3.5, but you could get a 3. Hell, that's not a bad bet. What's the? Let's see what the. Let's try to get in here. Let me see what my line is. Let me go on my Bet Online account. I've been using Bet Online, and I started using Bet US. If you go on my Twitter at Dom541 or at DommyGun, I got like a promo code and stuff for Bet US. I just started doing some things with them, but they're pretty cool. They got a lot of different bets that Bet Online don't have, so that's something that's good. What I don't like that is they don't have poker, which I do play on Bet Online. I play small because I'll never play big online. I play like small sit and goes and just to pass the time and stuff. But it's fun. They have like 9-handed tables. You could play anywhere from a couple bucks to like 30, actually 60. So a lot of times I play like the $15. Then if I win, I'll play a $30. I do like stuff like that just to pass the time. But it's pretty good to bet online poker. So it's pretty cool to check out. But yeah, Bet US has a lot of cool stuff. If you're looking for another book, there's a good promo code on there and a good match. The usual stuff. Okay, let's get back to the lines. Let's see. So Seattle, like I said, if we can get 3, and that's what I was talking, I got sidetracked. If I can get that, I'm going to put Seattle in if I can get that 3. I do have the under 50.5 as part of my teaser in that game. Then we got Indianapolis at Washington at Indianapolis. Washington opened up plus 4. Looks like they're closing at plus 3, plus 2.5. I see some 2.5s at FanDuel. I see 3 at DraftKings. I see 3 at Caesars. So what about tonight's game? Now this game opened up at 10. I seen it opened up. This says opened up at 10.5. I thought I seen 10 on Bet Online for the Green Bay Buffalo game, but it was up to 11, and now I'm seeing a lot of 10.5s. I only see PointsBet at 11. I see the rest of the online guys like the BetGM, Caesars, FanDuel, Bet Rivers, all at 10.5. Minus 10.5, minus 110 on the Buffalo side, and there's a couple of plus 110s you could get at. Minus DraftKings has at minus 105, but FanDuel's minus 115. So it's amazing how you really got to pay attention. And I just didn't like the idea of having so many accounts open, but it's just sometimes you're saving more than that, just 5 cents or 10 cents, which adds up. You're saving even more than that. I remember last week we were looking at some kind of field. I forgot what the situation was, and we were talking about field goal props. We were talking about it was a baseball prop. I think it was a total hits 15.5 or whatever the prop was. But one book had it minus 130, and I seen it on Bet Online for minus 112. Hell, that's a big difference. And it doesn't even matter how much you're betting. That's a big difference. I mean, obviously, if you're a big time player, like $1,000 player or something like that, it's huge. But even I shouldn't even say even, but even $100 player, that's still that's a big difference. Minus 112 to minus 130. Even if you're betting $25, $50, that stuff adds up, man. So DJ had the Seattle Rams teaser. So what's the? Okay, let me first get back to this before I get sidetracked. So I could get the Seahawks -3, minus 120, and what you did was you took a teaser. So you got did you get it? How you doing, Eric? Good to see you, Eric Jones in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. Let me know if you're on any of these late games or how you did overall so far today. So I got +1 on the Rams on Bet Online, DJ. So let me know the lines you got on your teaser. That's a pretty cool teaser. I like that. The Seahawks -3 is interesting. The money line is minus 170. That's not my thing to be. Especially in the NFL, I'm not throwing minus 170 up on these games. But for some reason, you know what? You know what I am going to look at, though? The first half in this game. You have any look on this? We're talking about the Seattle game, Eric. With the Giants. We see that the Jets went down today. The biggest bet underdog teams this week, I believe I read, were the Giants and the Jets. Not that the Jets weren't underdogs, but the Giants were one of the biggest underdog bet teams this week. And you could see why. I mean, everybody's loving the Giants, but now's the time I think you go against them, But minus 170, I can't do. But I can do, the first half is minus 152, minus 1.5 for the Seahawks. Interesting. Very interesting. I think I'm just going to stick to my, part of the teaser. +3 and +5. So DJ got for the Seattle Rams game. So yeah, I took. I'm going to just stick with my teaser: Texans on the 45.5 and Giants on the 50.5, and root for some low-scoring games. I'm looking at this first half with Seattle minus 1.5. I just like how. I mentioned it before, man. I mean, Gino's playing well. He's passing the ball well. I mean, he has the top. Eric, you wouldn't believe this one, right? I mean, I guess you bet Seattle, but you know it. But I was just surprised when I read the stat how Gino is has the best completion percentage in the league. I mean, hell, someone asked you that question as a trivia. I don't think many of us would come up with Geno Smith. My son-in-law mentioned to me about Geno being the top fantasy guy 2 weeks ago, and I was like, who? He's like, Geno Smith. He says, I knew you'd have that reaction, but... Fourth quarter magic, DJ. Panthers just scored 34-34, 12 seconds left. There's a flag. I don't know what this flag's about. Flag is on the kick, I guess. Yeah, on the. Oh no. That was a pass. Oh, okay. That can't be on the Panthers. That got to be on the. Yeah, that's a hold on the defense, and he still caught the ball. So the Panthers on a Hail Mary with probably a 30, 40-yard bomb. And, yeah, Eric, I just read it. He has over 1,700 passing yards, and he's number one in the league with like a 73-something point, whatever, percentage completion pass. Wow. What a pass by the Panthers. Wow. See, Mayfield on the bench. They get rid of McCaffrey. They get rid of, DJ Moore comes back after a little, wow, a little redemption right there for DJ Moore, who hasn't been himself, but they kept his ass. I think they got rid of Robbie Anderson. They got rid of McCaffrey. The whole team looked at each other like, hey, they got rid of these guys. Our ass will be the next ones out the door. I'm sitting on the bench, right? So I better step up. It looks like the whole Panther team has stepped up. I was rooting for the Panthers because I know some of our boys have Panthers today to win. I think they were the underdog, yeah. So they should be sitting pretty. They should be sitting good. Looks like the Panthers are going to go up, pending a extra point, and the ball is up, and it is going. It's wide. It's wide. He missed the extra point. 34-34. 12 seconds left. Atlanta's going to get a crack at one Hail Mary or just take the kneel and go into the OT. And that's usually your best idea, because that last Hail Mary could cost you the game right there and then. So Pitt laid down in 4-1 so far. Had Miami over Atlanta over Dallas -10. Yeah, I had that Dallas first. I had that. That's good. Good job, Eric. I had the Dallas first half -6.5. So that was that is great. Let's see. So now you said you got the over in the Atlanta game. So there you go. So that hit nice and easy. That's a good job by you. What was the final score in Miami won that game 31-27. I had Detroit in the first half and won that and lost the full game. So I split in that game. I had Detroit plus 3.5. Yeah, they didn't cover. What are they going to do? They didn't cover. I thought they could. Miami was one of the teams, like I thought with the Jets and the Giants they could be all teams that would lose this week. But a good job by Miami, man. They went into Detroit and they scored 31 points, and that's a good job by them. So there you go. It looks like I split that in the early. Yeah, I split my 2 field goal props, and I had Dallas first half, and and I had Detroit first half, but then I lost Detroit full game. So I'm still up one game, probably a little bit less than a unit, I would say. That Lions game I had -108. And now I got the Redskins over 1.5 field goals -130. I got Green Bay Packers under 47, and I got the Teece at Texans under 45.5, Giants under 50.5. So those are my plays for the day. I wonder how everybody's doing. The World Series is still going on, and that's what I want to talk about before we get out of here. The World Series, it's a shame. We're in Week 8, and I'll tell you, this series could definitely go the full 7 games. It's what I kind of expected, 6-7 games. I didn't expect. I've seen a lot of people writing that, sweep by the Phillies and the destined, and listen, the Phillies might be destined, and I did take them in the series plus 170, but and I had them last series, but I don't know about destiny, but I did lose the first game under 3.5. In that first game, which they just were hitting the ball from the beginning. Yesterday, I took the first 5 -130 Astros, so I hit that. So I'm back on track. That's why I'm not really a good futures player. I don't like playing futures. I feel like you're betting against yourself a lot of times, especially these short things like these. Like I took the Phillies in the series, but then I bet the Astros yesterday. After losing the first game, it's like you're digging into your profit. So it gets tough sometimes when you bet futures. I know, I don't know if people look at it that way, but it's nothing I do a lot, and I don't like the long-term futures. I played a couple season totals here and there. Didn't do any in NFL this year, but I'm not big on that. But I do have the Phillies in the series. Tomorrow should be a good game. I know it's Noah Syndergaard. Yes, it's Noah Syndergaard in Philly. Should be a good game. That should be a very good game tomorrow. Let's see. And McCullers is on the mound. So far they got The Phillies at home, plus 122. The under and over is 8. It might be a little high. That first 5 might be a look. The Astros are minus 132 on the money line. The run line is plus 129 on the Astros. Sometimes they don't like giving you the first half the day before on Bet Online. I don't feel like switching over to the other one. I'll see if it pops up. But it did pop up. The first 5, the under is 4, minus 105. I was hoping to see a 4.5 maybe, but be that as it may, we did not. Team totals: Astros over 3.5, minus 140, and Phillies over 3.5, minus 105. So their team totals, if you bet both team totals over, and they're so high, minus 140. The Phillies might over 3.5. Over 3.5 with the line set at 8 sometimes it's a tricky. I try to look into the team totals and correlate it with the total, and sometimes you just get a little idea on how the books are looking at the games and stuff. But when it comes to the playoffs, man, it's everything seems to just cap itself, and I don't know. I think the 8 could be a little bit low. I don't know if anybody Eric, you think you have any thoughts on the baseball game tomorrow night? Let me know. What was that, Corday? Thanks for joining. Yes, he missed that extra point. I was surprised, but you see that ball just went like that, just sailed right over. So we got our OT. We have a OT. Let's go back to. Let's see. Is there a live line for that? Let's see. Let's see the OT. So that's like unbelievable, man. The Panthers, I was writing, a lot of people were writing them off. As soon as I write somebody off in the NFL, you should just jump on them because I'm like, it's unbelievable. So they got a money line out for this overtime. Panthers plus 120, Falcons minus 150. I mean, why wouldn't you just take the Panthers? They came back from behind. They got the momentum. I'm guessing that the Falcons are going to get the ball first. So obviously, yeah, they're going to get kicked off first. So I guess that's why the discrepancy in the line. But hell, if you're going to take a shot, I don't know why you wouldn't take that. But as I said that, it got. What are they doing here on Fox? Where the hell is the game? They're probably going to go into the next one. Okay, yeah, they're going into the Giants and Seahawks. Okay, all right, what are you going to do? So we'll see what happens in that game, 34-34. I don't have it in front of me. I had it on, and all of a sudden now it's not. So, don't know why. But, we got Giants and Seahawks starting now. A bunch of us have some bets on that. You guys got Seattle -3. I love it. Good luck on your wagers. The Seahawks. Listen, you know what? I can't get it out of my mind. I better get off the air because I'll start making some. I'll start making some bets. It's been a little crazy day here for me today. A lot of things going on in the gambling world. A lot of things going on in our circle. Which I won't get into now. I won't get into online. I won't get into on the show. But a lot of things are changing. I don't know if it's for the good. My first instinct is it's not. It's for the bad. But hopefully I'm wrong. But all I could say is I am just happy to be part of this crew. I'm happy to be part of all us guys that have been together for a long, long time. And sometimes things happen where it doesn't always stay that way, or it doesn't stay that way for a while and then gets back to that way. So who knows? But things have been changing, and for me, not so much the good, but hopefully that part changes around. But I just wanted to say that I am happy to be part of this crew. I am happy, of course, to be part of the Who Bangin' Sports Talk guys, and we will be ramping up this channel. It's time for us to make a little move, start putting out some more content, some different content. In talks with a few people to have a couple ideas going on, so we'll see what happens. It's all love out here from Who Bangin' Sports. It's all love here from Before You Bet. Stick to the channel. You guys know that the Boss and the Sauce is on Wednesdays at 4:30. You guys at 4:30 at 8:30 Eastern Time. You also know about WAM Wednesdays, and just follow WAM. It's NBA season, so it's NBA season. It's WAM season. Follow the Boss and the Sauce also on their Saturday show on Pub on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. or is it 11 a.m.? 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be back here week 9, hopefully with a little bit more of an exciting show. We'll have our guests back next week. DJ will be back next week. And we'll just keep it going and see what happens. Now it's halfway, right? We talked about the NFL. What's it going to look like week 10? That's what we talked about. So we will see as Gino opens up the game with a nice 12, 13-yard pass to Metcalf. This should be a good game. The Giants better watch out. I have a feeling if the Seahawks don't beat themselves, that they should win this game easily. That was a nice little trick play. Did you? I don't know if anybody's seen that. They didn't even tap that ball. Gino went behind the center with the running back and just tapped the center on the ass. He gave the ball to the running back and he got the first down. Is that what happened? Yeah, Gino tapped him on the butt. And okay. That was a pretty. If you get a chance, watch that play from the beginning of this Giant game. A little trickery by Gino. He walked up to the line, tapped the center on the butt, and then walked a little bit this way, like he was going to snap the ball there, and he long snapped it to the running back, and he ran right up for a first down. It was pretty cool, pretty good play that they did. Should be a good game. So anyhow, getting back to what I was saying, we'll be doing a lot more on Who Bangin' Sports Talk. Thank you guys all for coming in. Thank you for supporting us. Please give us a like. Subscribe to the channels. On both our on the Who Bangin' Twitter and on DJ Bigboss Twitter and on my Twitter. And even I have my YouTube channel up, but it's kind of hooked up with this one. But if you get a chance, just throw a subscribe on there. It helps in the long run. But what I do is what Who Bangin' does. We're all in one, so that's just how it is. All right, thanks everybody for coming in. I appreciate you, and we will see you next week. This is DommyGunRici for Before You Bet. Peace.